Last year, Acer made a move with their main flagship consumer Chromebook, the Spin 713, that just flat out worked. The 2020 version of that Chromebook improved on many of the things we were looking for. It kept the price in check, and it made for one of my absolute favorite Chromebook experiences of the year. When this year's version arrived, I had high hopes for a similar iteration and knew that if Acer just tightened up a few things, they'd have another winner on their hands. As it turns out, they did just that. They kept much of what made last year's Spin 713 great and simply iterated on an already great formula to produce what has become my favorite Chromebook of 2021 so far. Let's talk about why. Today's video is brought to you by our thriving and awesome Patreon community, where we offer things like behind-the-scenes footage, early access content, access to our private Discord channel, and an ad-free experience over at chromeunboxed.com, both on the desktop and mobile versions of our website. If you'd like to learn more, just head over to patreon.com/chromeunboxed. Probably the biggest gripe I had with last year's Spin 713 was the build quality. While I felt it was a step forward from the earlier version of the device, the whole package felt unfinished from an aesthetic point of view. The chassis was a little flimsy, the lines where the outer portions came together were sometimes sharp, and the whole thing lacked the tight feel you get in a Google-made Chromebook or something like the excellently made HP Chromebook C1030. This year, I'm happy to say the build quality took a really nice step forward. The aluminum lid and bottom plate give the Spin 713 substance, and the entire device feels far more considered and refined this time around. There's a slight boxiness to the front edges and a firmness to the outer part of the Chromebook that make for a more premium feel when you pick up the Spin 713 from any angle, opened or closed. That solidity is further cemented by the 810G military-grade durability, which means this Chromebook doesn't just feel solid, it can take a beating in some harsh conditions and sustain drops from up to 4 feet. The hinge mechanisms are great too, firm when in clamshell mode, easy to convert, and there's even a satisfying magnetic hold that keeps the tablet orientation from feeling floppy and messy. While still an understated design overall, Acer did a great job at making the Spin 713 simply feel like a nicer Chromebook than it did before. And that's the point when you iterate from one year to the next. There are still fan ports on the back and bottom of the device, but they don't jump out at you, and in daily use, you don't really even see them. Joining those openings in this revised chassis are a wide variety of I/O ports, including 2 USB Type-C ports, a single USB-A, a microSD card slot, a headphone microphone jack, and the return of the full-size HDMI port. As far as connections go, this thing has about everything you could ask for, even if the USB Type-C ports are both on the same side. I prefer one on each side if I'm getting picky. The real star of the show here is the screen. Oh, this screen. This is now the third iteration of the Spin 713 with its 3x2, 13.5-inch, high-res IPS screen, and I'm here to tell you that this screen gets just about everything right. The taller viewport is always welcome, the 400+ nits of brightness perform in nearly every setting, the colors and viewing angles are vibrant and eye-pleasing, and the oddball 2256 by 1504 resolution provides a pin-sharp viewing experience. In case you can't tell, I love this panel, and when using any other Chromebook after spending some time with the Spin 713, makes me sorely miss it. For my use, it's the perfect marriage of screen size, aspect ratio, and brightness, and while this isn't really an upgrade or an iteration on last year's model or even the one prior to that, no real work was needed in this department, so I applaud Acer for sticking with this display and deciding not to cut a corner here. Sitting beneath that gorgeous screen is a keyboard that feels quite similar to last year's Spin 713 and a trackpad that is definitely improved. The keys on the keyboard are still a bit loose for my liking, but the travel is good and the click is sure. I had no issues getting up to speed with my normal typing, and there's a backlight there to help you find your way in dim conditions, and honestly, this is just a welcome addition. The trackpad is large, nearly square, and about as good as they come. It's glass, it has a satisfying click, and it gives you plenty of surface area to work with. No complaints whatsoever. One of my only real gripes with this Chromebook is in the speaker department, and I hate to report that things aren't much better than they were last year. The speakers are not loud, they have no mid or low end reproduction to speak of, and they're generally terrible. I'm not sure why Acer keeps shipping speakers that are this bad, but this is definitely no Pixelbook Go or Asus CX5 when it comes to listening to any sort of audio on a Chromebook. Put simply, if laptop speakers matter to you, you'll need to look elsewhere for sure. Inside, we're looking at an 11th gen Intel Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs of internal NVMe storage. If those specs sound impressive, just wait till you actually use them. It's a sad understatement to say this Chromebook's fast. It literally is so fast that there wasn't a single time my workload ever even started to slow it down. With plenty of RAM, miles of performance overhead, and far more storage than the average Chromebook, there's no denying the beast mode status on offer here. Even while pushing the internal high-res display and my ultra-wide QHD monitor, the Spin 713 never skipped a beat. All that performance and resolution come at a cost, however, as the battery is only average for a Chromebook. It's not bad, it's just average. With the screen brightness cranked all the way up and lots of tasks running, you'll see 6 to 7 hours of battery life. Kick the brightness down and pull back the reins on multitasking, and you can get into that advertised 10 hours Acer touts for this one. Don't get me wrong though, I'd take this screen and this muscle under the hood in exchange for a bit of battery life any day of the week. It's been fine for me in actual use. So that's the Acer Chromebook Spin 713 in 2021. It's fast, it has all the internals you could want, all the I/O that you could want, and what I consider the best screen available on a Chromebook right now. Aside from a bit of a boring aesthetic, an average keyboard and battery life, and kind of bad speakers, this Chromebook smashes it on so many levels. Putting together a review for a great device like this it's just easy. At $699, this Chromebook delivers what you expect in a high-end laptop at a more mid-range price. It's so easy to recommend, and though it'll likely be on sale at multiple points between now and the end of the year, even at MSRP, it's 100% worth the money. Acer's done it again. And now it's up to everyone else to catch up. But guys, that's it for this one. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, head down there and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to click the notification bell next to that if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Until next time, we'll see you.